Hi, you guys. I'm Erin.
And I'm Veena.
And we're the Millennial Mamas.
So Inside Edition tasked us with talking about bringing babies and children to weddings. The big question out there is yes or no?
No. As you heard, Prince William and Duchess Kate had a baby. With the royal wedding on May 19th at the Windsor Castle, what's a princess to do? Should she bring the baby?
I mean, to me, the answer is always yes. And being a duchess, she has every opportunity to have some help in getting the baby there and being present.
But what if you don't have help? Do you still believe you should bring your child to the wedding?
I sure do. They're part of the family. They want to be a part of the celebration. So for me, the answer is always yes. And for Prince Harry and Meghan's wedding, they're bringing in 100 children from the local Windsor schools to join in their festivities. So I think it's a very child-friendly event.
It is a child-friendly event. I think that's really important when deciding whether or not children are invited to a wedding. It could be totally opposite. If no children were coming to this wedding, I don't think it'd be appropriate for her to bring her children. I personally would never bring my child to a wedding. I don't think children should be at wedding, and I did not have them at my wedding.
I did have children at my wedding, but I had a barbecue, so I think it's really different. It was a very casual wedding. I bring my son with me to weddings because I've never had childcare that came with me or available because I never used a sitter until he was 5. So for me, I have to bring my kid, otherwise I can't go.
People would call me when we were planning our wedding and go, I want to bring my kid should be invited, I don't have help. I think it's really nice for people just to bow out. If the bride requests no children, I don't think the child should show up. I think that the people should respect that, offer to get together to celebrate the nuptials in another way, and maybe come the night before if the children are invited and the day after. I mean, kids have tantrums in the middle of this beautiful ceremony. Can you imagine one of the 2-year-olds just screaming for no reason? My 2-year-old would have done that in the middle of some beautiful ceremony. There's no way they would have behaved perfectly.
Well, I definitely do not have a perfect angel, and I agree with you. I mean, I think on invitations, it should say clearly if children of a certain age are allowed to come, so I think some of it is about transparency. The other part too is like, I don't want to be Momzilla versus Bridezilla. So if you're the bride, like call me and like let me know like, hey, we would love to have you come. Maybe you could just come for the ceremony and then your whole family for the reception, or none of the above. And you're right about the tantrums. I took Eddie to a wedding and it was in the middle of like the beautiful vows, and then I just put my hand right over his mouth and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think you can do that. But that was in hopes of not ruining a very special moment.
What about children that are relatives? I feel like there's a separate exclusion or inclusion for children that are relatives. They're allowed to be there, and can other families get mad because the niece is in the wedding, but the other family is not?
Well, I think like anything, as a guest of a wedding or as a friend, you need to be understanding to your friend getting married. So it's about not getting your feelings hurt. I think that's the bottom line, is just like removing yourself, being like, I'm not gonna be the bridezilla. I'm just gonna say, you can do whatever you want because that's okay.
Yes, the host of the wedding should also always offer a form of childcare if you are inviting families to the wedding, and give that as an option, and give the other options that maybe they don't come to the ceremony because it's expensive. I mean, it's so expensive, and the idea of families bailing early because their kid's having a tantrum, or they have to leave early because dinner's too late and they can't make it. But they RSVP'd, you set them a plate, you paid for their dinner, which can be hundreds of dollars sometimes. And then to not come, to me, it's like heartbreaking. It's a party. Everyone needs to put their party hats on and, you know, get out for the night. Get a babysitter.
For me, I also would love a recommendation from the bride of like, this is really reputable childcare, or this is group childcare, meet these other families, maybe you guys can get a sitter together.
So what is Kate gonna do? Do you think if she's breastfeeding, and you know, girls, when you're breastfeeding and you're out for more than like 2 hours, these things, like they swell and they hurt, and you need to find a way to get to that baby or get to a pump. So what do you think she's gonna do? Should she have the baby there on site or in her arms?
I think that she'll bring her baby nurse with her, and it'll be in a little separate area. I mean, it's a Windsor castle. I mean, it's a castle. There's so many rooms. I mean, she does seem to exclusively nurse. She says in her own words that she does not like having a dummy. So she's gonna figure it out. Is she gonna wear a nursing-friendly dress? Like, that's what we do as like commoners, as we would say. We would wear a nursing-friendly dress, but what does she do? I would bring a pump.
She's definitely going V-neck for this. I know this for sure. Princess Kate is going with a V-neck dress so she can get access for that baby, whether she's running to the back or having the nurse bring the baby to her in the middle of the ceremony. I know style, fashion, it's gonna be a V-neck dress. And we all as moms, we know why.
I mean, I think that's what's actually very cool about this situation is that she's still a mom first and foremost. And she's still going through some of the same troubles that we go through. It's just that she gets to be a princess. But we want to know your wedding horror stories, your wedding tips, your different bridezilla, momzilla moments. So come chat with us. Head over to insideedition.com or themillennialmamas.com. We want to talk to you more.